Welcome back to Detective D, where we are embroiled in trying to figure out who has killed this Korean ambassador. Now, we've just spoken to Chef Chu here, who has been kind enough to smell this silk handkerchief and has deduced that it has the aroma of peppermint on it, which is great. Now, while in the kitchen, we've also acquired these charcoal tongs, and I know exactly where we're going to be going with these things. We're going to be heading back out to the... to the stream river place, whatever it is. Where was the main courtyard, is it? Nope, come on, let's keep it going. Where the ambassador's guard was waiting. Right, here we go. Okay, so in this tree hollow, we're going to be using the tongs to see if we can get this thing out of there. A bronze candlestick. It must have been dropped into the water and carried by the current into the tree trunk. There are small traces of blood, and its shape matches that of the wound on the ambassador's head. This must be the murder weapon. Candlestick added to inventory. Sweet. Okay, we're getting there. Established how the murder took place and found the murder weapon. Good. We still have some stuff to uncover, so let's get to it. Now, there is definitely something else. Alright, let's keep it going. Okay, so Sun Ying gave us the key to the storage room, which is... Is it this way? It must be. Yes, there we go. Alright, what is here? House supplies? Just ordinary supplies for the household. Antique chest. Ooh. Is this it? My grandfather had a chest like this, just like this one. I'd say it's easily 200 years old. Okay, is this it? Key slots. One budge. Looks like I need a set of 3 keys to fit in these slots. Okay. Alright, so this isn't anything that we are doing just yet. I guess we're coming back to this. I mean, unless... Yeah, okay, so that's not doing anything. So... That must be it, the lockbox. A small lockbox. I need a key to open it, and we have a key. Okay. What do we got? Candles. Unused candle. This candle's coloration is different from the others. Its midsection appears to be darker. Hello? The rest of the candles are unscented, but this one has an unusual odor. Unfortunately, I can't make out what it is. Well, we can't, but we know someone who can. Right. So I bet you that candle is part of everything that's gone on here. So let's go show the candle, the unused candle. Let's go show it to Chef Chu and ask if he can give it the old sniff. Put that schnoz of his to good use. Do you recognize the scent? Yes. That's the same faint metallic scent that I detected in the air just prior to falling unconscious. It's hard to pinpoint since the substance is meant to be burned, but I'd wager a full purse that we're dealing with some form of opium. Opium? Can it be used to induce sleep? I suppose in the hands of a skilled chemist or herbalist, it could be harnessed in such a way. Thank you for your assistance, Chef Chu. Boom. Determined that the candles were tampered with to induce sleep temporarily. Okay. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. What else? What else? I mean, do we have enough evidence now? Do we have a quick word with Sun Ming? No, there's nothing else we can ask her. I mean, I think we have a decent amount now. Do we have a decent amount now? to, we got the murder weapon, we got an anonymous letter. Yeah, so I think we can speak to the guard. I think the guard's gonna maybe open up to us now. Because I think we can show him enough to demonstrate that this is maybe not... Captain Bay, I'd like to tell you what I've discovered so far. It appears I have misjudged you, Magistrate D. Then I trust you understand the gravity of the situation? I certainly do, sir. But the truth is I failed at my job, and now the ambassador is dead. The ambassador was a strict man, but he was always fair and honorable. But I have failed him. I have failed my country, and now my family will know shame for a generation because of it. If only I could face the killer right now, I would surely. Now is not the time. Calm yourself. Thoughts of vengeance will get us no closer to the truth. Much more hangs on the balance than just your pride. I am sorry. I shouldn't have let my emotions take over. Tell me what you remember. Truthfully, I am as confounded now as I was when I first fell unconscious. I was standing in the corner of the sitting room, observing the ambassador and the minister, when suddenly I could no longer support my own weight. My head was spinning and my balance was gone. I fell hard to the ground, and then blackness. You see, this bump on my head was not there earlier today, I can tell you that. And when you woke? When it became clear that the ambassador was not inside the house, I had a hunch that he might be here, so I came running immediately. That's when I discovered his lifeless body inside the cave. How did you know he would be in the grotto? It was just a guess, sir. You see, the ambassador spent much of his time here when he wasn't working. He enjoyed this garden very much, in particular this waterfall. He would often spend entire afternoons out here and inside the cave. On those days, he seemed peaceful. Did anyone join him? No, sir, never. This is the only entrance, and I was always standing guard. At this very spot, in fact. No one else could have gone in without me knowing. What about you? Did you ever join him inside? No. The ambassador made it clear that he was not to be disturbed. Interesting. Was the ambassador his usual self? Ambassador Troy was a very private man. We rarely talked about anything other than official business. But from my vantage point, he did strike me as especially preoccupied in recent weeks. How so? I can't explain it, really. There was just this look in his eyes, like his mind was drifting, you know? Like that look on someone's face when they're daydreaming. And of course, all that time he spent in that cave by himself was so strange. I could never understand why he liked it in there so much. Had you seen him like this before? In all my years serving as his personal bodyguard, I can't recall a time when he appeared so distracted. But these last few weeks, something seemed to be bothering him. Did he have enemies? In Penglai, I find that very hard to believe. Since our arrival 5 months ago, we have resided in the Chinese military base down the road and have rarely ventured beyond these walls. Outside of his regular visits here to work on the treaty, the ambassador was very careful to avoid all unnecessary contact. You say he spent a lot of time in this compound. Did he have much contact with the staff members? He rarely spoke to them directly. Most of the time, if he had any requests, they were delivered by me. And those were usually the mundane type, like asking the cook to put less salt in his meals, or requesting the maidservant to put his cap out to dry. Ah, that reminds me. I need to retrieve the ambassador's cap from the main courtyard. It was taken out this evening? Did you ask the maidservant to take it out? Yes, in fact the maidservant usually came to collect the cap as soon as we arrived. I suppose she picked it up on the routine pretty quickly. But there's already a cap by the body. Ah, yes, well, you see, the ambassador is a rather portly man, and on humid nights such as this he had a tendency to perspire, causing the underside of his cap to become damp. He used to complain about the discomfort, so he usually carried a spare cap with him. It was customary for him to switch to the fresh one before a meal. Interesting. So the cap in the cave is the replacement, and the one in the main courtyard is the original he was wearing when he arrived. Yes, that's correct. Where exactly can I find the original? I think the maidservant usually puts it on the stone bench by the wall north of the main courtyard. In that case, allow me to retrieve the hat for you, Captain. I'll be sure to return it to you after I've examined it. Of course. Thank you, Magister D. Alright. Yeah, we may have more questions later on, but so far, we have got another lead. So this must be the... Yeah, this is the stone bench. Let's have a look. Okay, underneath maybe? No hat. Captain Bay said the ambassador's cap should be on the bench. Where could it be? Well, maybe Steward Song cleaned it up or something? Did you see the Ambassador Troy's cap? I'm afraid I haven't seen it, sir. You're better off asking Sun Ying, but she's a clumsy girl, that one. It wouldn't surprise me if she misplaced it. Between you and me, I don't think she'll last here much longer. What makes you say that? Well, I suppose I've seen her kind before, sir. Careless and too cunning for her own good. I can tell the good ones from the bad ones, you know. I've served in many distinguished houses, like the Liangs of Duji province. You must have heard of them. I served the great Liang family for over 10 years. That is, until 2 years ago, when the eldest son threw away their fortune in the gambling halls. I thought then that their fate had been sealed, destined to wait tables in tasteless inns and wine-houses. Fortunately, the Liang matriarch was good enough to write me a letter of recommendation before things got even worse. That's how I ended up here, sir. So, you were acquainted with Minister Wang? No, not at the time, sir. But you see, Minister Wang was once very close to the Liang clan. And when I presented him with proof that I had served the Liang household with distinction, he was quite swift in his decision to hire me. Yes, I remember now. I heard about the Liangs while I was taking my final literary exam in the capital. If memory serves, official reports held that after suffering the shame of financial ruin, the entire family had committed suicide in their ancestral home in Duji. News of that terrible scandal echoed throughout the capital for weeks. It was a horrible affair indeed, sir. Simply horrible. Okay. Thank you. I'll leave you to your work. No trouble, sir. Right. So, let's... I can't quite put my finger on it, but his account of the Liang tragedy felt hasty and insincere. Unfortunately, my knowledge of that affair is only second-hand. I'll need something more substantial if I wish to confront him. Perhaps Minister Wang would know more? Okay. Didn't see this lead. I thought that was a red herring, but okay. Oh, I mean, it still might be. But, yeah, let's have a word with Minister Wang. Any other thoughts on the case? I suppose I should feel relieved that the killer only intended to kill the ambassador, but I can't help but wonder why the rest of us were spared. The killer obviously had the means to murder everyone here. Why did he choose to let us live? What sort of devious plot were we victims of? Okay, yeah, Mr. Song told me an interesting story about how he became steward of the estate. He credits a letter written by the late Madame Liang of Duji. Yes, that is true. I did hire him largely on the strength of that recommendation. Liang Tao and his wife were a formidable aristocratic couple whose influence reached far and wide. I was fortunate enough to call myself a friend, but over the years we had lost touch. Truth be told, even at a young age, their firstborn son was an incorrigible troublemaker who had left an unsettling impression on me. Perhaps I distanced myself without even knowing it. In the end, that his gambling addiction was the cause of their downfall did not entirely surprise me. Even so, when I heard the news of their tragic demise, I was deeply saddened. I made many inquiries, holding out hope that the rumors surrounding their ritual suicide were grossly exaggerated, that perhaps some members of the family had survived the ordeal. I understand this is a sensitive personal matter for you, Minister, but I assure you I wouldn't be asking if it wasn't important. Very well. My initial inquiries were fruitless, until one day, months later, I received word from a reliable source that someone had indeed escaped unharmed. Although Madame Liang had accepted the path that her husband had chosen, her compliance did not extend to taking the life of their 3-year-old great-granddaughter. Oh, sorry, just granddaughter. She secretly made sure the young one was spared the lethal dose of poison that killed the rest of them. How remarkable. Indeed, that little girl, she is nothing less than a miracle. With luck, she will live out the rest of her life peacefully in Chengdu, where we were able to locate a distant relative willing to take her in. So you see, when Song came to me with that letter of recommendation, I took it as an act of providence, one last opportunity to do right by my old friends. Thank you, Minister Wang. Now that I know more about the private details of the Liang affair, I can confront Song to see if his story holds up. Okay, so I'm guessing we don't think his story entirely holds up. But I mean, I don't see him... I don't see the reason for him wanting to exaggerate or embellish this particular story. Yeah, about the Liangs. I thought surely, if anyone could help us settle this question, it would be you. I hope you can indulge my curiosity. But sir, aren't there more pressing matters to attend to? Yeah, I decide what are pressing matters. As Minister of Penglai, I believe I'll decide what matters are pressing and what matters aren't. I'm very sorry, sir. I did not mean to suggest... No apology needed. Simply answer me this. When faced with ruin and shame, the entire Liang family retreated to their ancestral home and committed ritual suicide. No one was spared, except for one. Can you tell me who survived? But they all died. I'm sure of it. It was common knowledge. Ha! It was indeed common knowledge that the entire family poisoned themselves, but only a select few knew the entire truth. As luck would have it, Minister Wang is such a person. The Liang matriarch knew her husband's suicidal plans and had no choice but to follow his wishes. But she could not bear to see the family's youngest, her 3-year-old granddaughter, suffer the same fate. Madame Liang made sure the girl was spared the lethal dose of poison that killed the others. But you could not have known that, since contrary to your false claims, you never worked for the Liangs at all. But... Not another word. Your crude and callous retelling of the Liang affair never did sit well with me. How could a man devoted to the same family for so long recount such a tale with such utter lack of sentiment? You're an opportunist. But not a very smart one. Like everyone else at the time, you heard the stories about the Liangs, but you decided you could use that knowledge to your advantage. You forged the letter you claimed was written by the matriarch and lied your way into your current position. What are you playing at, Song? Come out with it now. It's true that I lied about my past, sir. I won't deny it any longer. I was desperate for a job, and though I had worked as a servant before, I knew that I lacked the experience for this position. But I assure you, I had nothing to do with the ambassador's death. I'll be the judge of that. What else did you lie about? The ambassador's cap. I was the one who took it from the stone bench earlier this evening, just after the maidservant brought it out into the courtyard. Explain yourself at once. It was nothing nefarious, sir, I swear. I needed something to protect myself. From Sun Ying. Like you, she somehow found out about my dishonesty. She said she would keep quiet, but warned me that she would one day ask for something in return. I didn't want to take any chances, so I thought that if I could get the masters to distrust her, I could even the odds. So you stole the cap as an insurance policy against your own deceit? I just wanted to hide it long enough to undermine her competence, sir. I was going to return it, I swear. I know how foolish that was now. Please have mercy on this humble servant, sir. You'll get what you deserve. There are more pressing matters. Your petty squabbles are a little concern. As you said yourself, there are more pressing matters at hand. Now tell me where you hid the cap. It's in the storage room. I placed it in the locked wooden chest. But in all the commotion, I seem to have lost the only key. That's why I've been sweeping the floors all night, sir. I've been searching all over for it. Look, I was able to find a piece of it. Okay, so that's a missing piece. What do you mean, a piece? Well, that chest has a very unique locking mechanism, sir. Its key is actually made up of 3 discrete pieces. It's an old Han Dynasty relic, but Minister Wang is fond of antiques. I must have dropped them earlier, but I've only managed to recover one of the 3 pieces. I've looked everywhere, sir. The only explanation is that the other 2 pieces must have been picked up by 1 or more people here. Very well, I will speak to the others about the 2 missing pieces. Boom. Okay, caught Song lying about his past and learned where he hid Choig's original cap. Alright, well, yeah, let's go do some asking around then. About, the missing pieces. So, would Minister Wang know anything about it? No, I can't say that I have. Okay, so he didn't. Thank you, Minister Wang. What about the guard? Captain Bay. Yeah, I bet you he found something. Well, I mean, there's only a limited number of people. There's 3 pieces. We got one. So yeah, let's ask old Captain Salt Bay. The ambassador's cap is missing. Yeah, we know about. Have you tried asking her? Yeah, we can ask the maid. So, about the missing set of keys. Did you happen to come across a key that was dropped somewhere on the premises earlier tonight? No, sir, I didn't come across any keys. Thank you. Okay, so he's got nothing. The cook. The chef, right? He has to have something. Right? Or maybe, actually, maybe if we show... On second thought, that probably won't work. No, that won't work. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, let's go check with the chef. And where's Sun Ying gone? Oh, could she have a piece, perhaps? Sun Ying, we got a question. Have you seen any missing keys? A key? I don't think. Wait, do you mean this thing? I found it in the courtyard, or was it in the sitting room? Anyway, here, you can have it. Okay, that's all for now, thank you. Yes, this is it. Boom. Alright. So, Sun Ying, the maidservant, she in the storage room? Let's go check. What? Heavens, no. Oh. Sun Ying, why? Clearly suicide, but why? Yeah, why? Dead, yet her body's still warm. She was alive only minutes ago. Oh god, come on. There's no mistaking it. She committed suicide right under our nose. Like, come on, there has... Like, anything? We need that other key. Few chairs. Oh, God. Well, there's nothing else we can see here. Candlestick. Okay, well, yeah, let's head out. It has to be... I mustn't alert the others of Sun Ying's death until I have a clearer idea of what happened. Okay, what about out here? Hang on, I think the bucket of water was... Oh no, wait, there's another guard, isn't there? Hey, buddy. What can I do for you, detective? Missing keys? As a matter of fact, I did pick up an oddly shaped key in the main courtyard when we were looking for the ambassador. Oh, great. Oh, great. Yeah, thoughts on the murder? Truthfully, sir, I think the rest of us are lucky to be alive. I know I'll be thanking the gods in my prayers tonight. I may be so bold, sir. Something tells me that Ambassador Troy was up to no good. Why else would someone go through all that trouble just to get to him? And whatever it was, they were sure knew what they were doing. Okay. Yeah, I think that... I suppose we have to ask about everything. Tell us about yourself. Before I was reassigned to protect Minister Wang, I was a guard in the Imperial Palace. Frankly, I didn't even know I was being considered for this position when my superior told me I had been picked for the job. I can't complain, though. I'd much rather be out here in the countryside than roaming the halls of that stuffy palace. Excuse my bluntness again, sir. Okay, what can you tell us about Minister Wang? Minister Wang is an immensely disciplined man. His dedication to his work is remarkable. Although I don't know the details, I know that whatever treaty he and Ambassador Troy were working on was of great importance. And he poured himself into it. I just hope that after what happened tonight, some part of that work can still be saved. Have you seen any other incidents since your time here? That's just it, sir. There have been no disturbances until today. Everything has been going so well, all that was left was for the two sides to sign the agreement, and the mission would have been complete. Okay. Yeah, about the security arrangements. My job is to ensure the security of the minister. Where he goes, I go. This compound simply acts as a secure meeting place. Since it's situated behind a military base just north of here, and its location is kept top secret, there's no need for additional guards, which would only raise suspicion. I see, and dignitaries such as Ambassador Troy can travel with guards? Yes, sir. If they travel alone, they do so at their own risk. In fact, many officials will travel with a larger contingent of bodyguards, but for these meetings, I heard the Emperor himself requested that secrecy be the top priority. Okay. That's all, thank you. Right, I think we are getting somewhere. Let's head back into that storage room. I swear we could have touched that, done something with that bucket. But yeah, we've all got the keys. Got all the keys now. And let's see if we can open this antique chest. Alright, so... we see the shapes. All 3 keys are in place. Still locked. Looks like I have to rotate these dials to the right position. Boom! Yes, that did the trick. Here it is, the cap the ambassador was wearing before it was exchanged for the replacement. Let's see if this one has a secret compartment. Okay. Let's take a look at the original cap. Oh. There's a small bulge inside it. As I suspected, a secret packet was sewn into the lining. This one also has a small piece of folded paper inside. Okay, and let's take a look at this letter. My beloved son king, though you may despise me for it, my duty to my country compels me to choose against my own heart. These past few weeks by your side have ignited a fire within me that will never die. But now I must return to Korea. It is with great regret that I cannot take you with me. I hope you can someday forgive me. Yours, Choi Yong-jun. Ah, we've done it. We've done it. We know what happened. Oh, Sun Ying, what have you done? But we've done it. We've solved the case. Let's speak to Minister Wang. Oh, that's so tragic. I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad it's not political. I believe I have the facts of the case. Let's go. Let's recount it. Case reenactment. At first, what took place here tonight seemed overwhelming. A secret diplomatic mission, a mysterious sleeping gas, a cold-blooded murder, and in the end, an inexplicable suicide. But at the heart of the matter was but a simple connection between 2 people, Ambassador Troy and Sun Ying. Unbeknownst to even his bodyguard, the 2 of them were exchanging letters upon each other in this to this compound. To accomplish this, they used the cap exchange. Using the pretense of switching caps for the ambassador, the 2 of them managed to create a private line of communication. Over the course of many secret exchanges, an illicit affair grew into a loving bond. I suspect many of the messages exchanged contained directions for each time the pair would meet. All that was needed was an agreed-upon time, as the place was surely always the Garden Grotto. Knowing his guard would stay outside, the ambassador asked his lover to wait patiently inside. But their true story was doomed to fail. After all, how could a high-ranking Korean diplomat return to his homeland with a Chinese servant girl as his mistress? It is a bitter truth, an all too rigid view of love, but a truth the ambassador had come to accept. But Sun Ying had no intention to comply. Instead, she set in motion a cunning plan for one last meeting. If still he refused her, he would pay the ultimate price. But if he chose to be with her instead, they would have simply returned to the house to perform a bit of theatre. Everyone in the house would have awoken with a mild headache, and none the wiser. But Ambassador Troy did not have a change of heart. and so she carried out her vengeful killing. While his back was turned, she struck him with a candlestick. Already carrying the candlestick, Sun Ying waited until the opportune moment to strike. The ambassador never had a clue. She had managed to fool everyone into thinking that she had fallen unconscious as well, likely using a rag or handkerchief to cover her nose and mouth, so fleeing was not necessary. But like all murderers, she had left a trail waiting to be uncovered. When she realized that I was close to identifying her, she did what perhaps she had planned all along. She committed suicide. To spite the ambassador, avoid getting caught, to join the ambassador. What took place here tonight was a love affair gone wrong. There were no political machinations at play, no revolutionary plots to unravel. It was a simple tale of passion and rage. Oh, it's a damn shame. Afterwards. It never ceases to amaze me how the human heart can be so frail and yet so hardened at the same time. I am in your debt, young magistrate. Your handling of this case was impeccable. Thank you, sir. I'm happy I could be of service. Then why the long face? By solving this case, you've given this treaty a chance of revival. You've done a great service to me, and more importantly, to His Highness. Thanks to you, diplomatic means are still within reach, as the Koreans can hardly blame us for their own man's weaknesses. You should be proud of this accomplishment, and I will make sure the Emperor knows of your astounding service. I am humbled by your kind words, Minister, but if I may speak frankly, something about this case, about Sun Ying, still leaves me uneasy. And what might that be? I've yet to put my finger on it, but I have a lingering feeling that something doesn't fit. Nonsense! That woman was a spiteful wench who committed premeditated murder. I see no flaw in your theory. There is no time to second-guess yourself, D. If you wish to serve the Empire, there is much more work to do. Perhaps you're right. I'm probably just overthinking it. Remember this night, young detective. You now stand at the crossroads to greatness. There is no turning back. Okay. So, not bad for a first case, I'd say. And to think, this is just the prologue. Time to get to some proper detectiving. Chapter 1. The Stranger and the Dream. 10 months later. I've been here before. Some invisible force is pulling the boat forward. Through the fog, I can see a small island with a tower standing at its center. It beckons me. Okay. What's going on with this deer? A deer is blocking the house. What a magnificent animal. I wonder if it will let me pass. Let's ask it. Ahem. The song. You speak? Flawless deduction, detective. Can you tell me why I'm here? The song. You must play the song. I don't understand. What song? Your song. Okay. No doubt with this drumstick. An odd-looking drumstick. Well, okay, let's take it. Okay, and let's do some drumming. I should examine the drum first. Okay. A large drum. It resembles the toy pellet drum I cherished as a child. Oh, hello. Bakwa symbols. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I think I'm reading it the wrong way. I'm reading it down to the top. I should be reading it top to bottom. So it's 1, and then that one, but presumably 3 times, and then 1 there. Yeah, okay, I think I've got it. Let's try it. No, I'm gonna have to have the drum. The Okay. That did something. I mean, yeah, let's ask the deer if he's happy with that. What a fine tune you play, Dr. Renjie. You know me? It is you that the drum calls. Your song breaks the silence. And who are you? In this place, names are unimportant, except your own. And what am I doing here? You are needed. The moment has come for you to show your true self. But time is fading. The wolf is on the move. Calamity is upon the flower and the flesh, the gold and the gate. What calamity? Who is in danger? What can I do? Cross the threshold and protect the lost ones. Break the wolf's spell and save the remaining roses. Now go. Speak no more. Go before it is too late. Climb the tower and save her. Okay. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh dear. Ninjas. The same dream, again. No matter how many times I run up that tower, bloodshed is all that ever comes from it. And what of the talking deer? He seems to speak in riddles. I must not dwell on that now. My new assignment awaits. Before I go, I should add an entry to my journal about the dream. Okay. I mean, yeah. Let's take a look at the old journal. Late spring, 689. I solved my first major case in Panglai. At first confounded, I needed to peel away the onion's many layers to find at its center a simple story. A prideful man murdered by a scorned lover. Yet again, I'm reminded of the fragility of the human heart. But it seems the minister took notice of my work. He spoke of how I would gain favor with the emperor, now that I had resurrected the border treaty. He even spoke of greatness in me. A silly notion, I thought. I had only done my job, and perhaps, had I done it better, Sun Ying would still be alive. She remains in my thoughts, ever mysterious. Who? Midsummer. The emperor is dead. It is the saddest of days. News from the capital arrived this morning. A mysterious illness said to be caused... by lingering health issues took hold and never let go. Now with the outcome of the Korean treaty on hold, his legacy will surely suffer. Generations in my family have served the emperor and his forebears. His royal mandate woven into my own sense of purpose. It is a time of deep reflection, a time of mourning. Late summer, 689. I've begun having a very peculiar, recurring dream. In it, I find myself on a small boat gliding across the water as if pulled by an invisible force. It eventually brings me to a tiny island, populated only by a strange talking deer, and a shadowy figure standing atop a great temple. But just as I manage to convince the creature to allow me passage up the tower, I sense a grave danger looming over me. What happens next is unclear, but one thing is certain. No matter how hard I try, I fail to overcome the sinister threat. Late winter 690. The Emperor's still grieving wife, Consort Wu, has now broken with tradition and proclaimed herself the Empress and rightful ruler of China. There are rumors of her brutal tactics reverberating across the Imperial echo chamber, stories of ruthless reprisals, and a secret police force used to silence her opposition. But what am I to believe? Was her rise to power illegitimate, or are these aspirations nothing more than exaggerated hearsay spread by envious detractors? No doubt, a woman reigning over the empire for the first time will vex the establishment, but the Imperial Court must survive this turmoil. We must come together for the good of the realm. Early spring 690, 10 months have passed since the Korean ambassador's murder. 8 have gone since the death of Emperor Gaozong, and another 2 have elapsed since Wu Zetian rose to power. Yet today, I received a letter from the Minister of Justice declaring that I am to become the new investigating magistrate of Chang'an, and that I am required to appear at the capital without delay. It seems the Empress wants to meet me. I think I want to meet her too. Okay. Well, yeah, let's take note of the dream. I arrived in Shanghai last night. I made my way to the Justice Department where I am to stay. A young lieutenant showed me to my new living quarters, but my first night here is marred by the same cryptic dream. I awake with a sense of dread and restlessness. I feel I can't ignore it no longer, but what can I do? What indeed? What indeed? Anyhow, well guys, we're going to take a quick break here. When we get back, we will be potentially meeting the Empress. So yeah, we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.